liberty in the spirit of 1776. It's Dan Bidondi on TruthRadioShow.com. Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. Today's July 16th, 2015, and we are minutes away from an interview with the Bob and Chez show. They call themselves the Bubble Genius Bob and Chez show from California. Basically, I've been trying to get a hold of these people because for 2 years now since the Boston bombing, they have relentlessly attacked us. Bob Cesca, I believe I pronounced his last name right, who gives a crap anyway, but he's a journalist for Salon and the Daily Banter, and he's written countless articles about me, Alex Jones, trashing us because, oh, damn, Bidondi mispronounced the word. Oh, God, like that's a big deal. You know, the whole thing is they've been trashing us, saying we're liars about stuff, but never show refutable evidence. But yet, they sit there and have the nerve to make fun of me because I mispronounce words, I misspell words. Who cares? I would rather tell the truth. I would rather listen to somebody stutter and tell the truth versus somebody that is perfectly speaking, could read from a teleprompter and speaks nothing but lies, i.e. the mainstream media. So, I guess Bob and Chez, they had no choice but to bring me on their show because their audience demanded it. Because I called them out for the gutless cowards that they are. And they kept overlooking me, whatever. And I said, bring me on your show. 2 years now. And it took their audience to demand it. And they said, all right, I guess we'll let you on. But it's not a debate. And that's what I asked them to go on as a debate. But now, yes, you can go on, but no, it's not a debate. So they think, they're going to make an example out of me. These liberals, they're going to make an example out of this right-wing conspiracy theorist. And first of all, I'm not right-wing. I'm an independent constitutionalist. So that's a big burst in their bubble, the bubble genius. And I wonder why they call him the bubble genius. I don't even want to know. I really don't. But they've been attacking me relentlessly, me and Alex Jones. And just yesterday or the day before, Bob Cesca wrote an article on Salon. Alex Jones warns listeners that the UN is a space cult plotting to eradicate humanity by making our children gay. First of all, Alex Jones never said the UN is a space cult. Okay, he says stuff like that out of sarcasm and all that. But, the thing is these people listen to a half-assed story, then make their own accusations. And if you read through these guys' articles, the Salon, Daily Banter, that show, the Bob and Chez show, never in their shows, they base that show off of making fun of people. Base that show off of targeting somebody's errors. Like if you misspell something, God forbid. But never what the subject's about. Like they bash me about the Boston bombing, bash me because I challenged the official narrative of Sandyhook, constantly bash me about that. But hey, again, they think they're winning the argument. They think they're ahead of this game because, one of Dan Bidondi's videos, he mispronounced the Prime Minister of Israel's last name. Oh, my God. That right there should discredit me, because I mispronounced somebody's last name. And in the same sentence, they went on to mispronounce my name. Go figure. But that's not what it's about. And these people build up this false reality like they're winning the argument. But the whole time, they sit there and target you, the individual, target your misspellings, your mispronunciations of words, but never get to the point of what the subject was about in the first place. And I'm going to call them out on the carpet, and I want to see what they come up for answers. If they do that, they're going to relentlessly attack me. I guarantee that. They're going to try to get me to say somebody's last name or say a word that I messed up on. Again, I'm not a perfect speaker. I'll admit that. And I'm going to tell them right out, hey, listen, I'm not a perfect speaker. You want a perfect speaker? Somebody tells lies? Go listen to the mainstream media. Yeah, I mess up. I mispronounce words. I stutter. Who cares? But at least I tell the truth, and I have the guts to do it, unlike you people at Bob and Chez Bubble Genius Show. But anyway, we're going to be joined soon. In a few minutes now, we're going to be on via Skype on their show. And I'm recording on both ends because I know how some shows are. They like to mute the microphone or hang up on you to say, oh, look, he hung up. So none of that's flying today because we're recording this live. Okay, this is going live on the show. This is a pre-recording, yes, but we're not editing nothing. We are recording from start to finish. Dan Bidondi, Truth Radio Show. Stay tuned, folks.
All right, well, let's dispense with all the happy crappy and get right down to it. Let's welcome into our virtual studio our very special guest this week. A surprise guest, because we only figured it out a few days ago. Welcome to the studio, Dan Bidondi. Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, there awesome. You go. All right, great. In case you're just joining us, in case you're listening to the show for the very first time, let you know who Dan is. Dan is a correspondent for Alex Jones's, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Dan. Dan is a correspondent for Alex Jones's Infowars network. He's also the host of the Truth Radio Show. It's a YouTube podcast, YouTube radio show, and it's carried on a bunch of different other YouTube channels. We first learned about Dan after, let's see. I think the first time I heard about Dan is right after the Boston Marathon bombing, when he interrupted the press conference there, asking questions about whether the Boston Marathon bombing was a false flag. It was the first time I was familiar with Dan.
And me as well.
Yeah. And I think the first clip from Dan's show that we played on our show was when Dan was famously told to go F himself by State Senator Josh Miller and his gun-grabbing cameraman. What'd you think of that, Dan? When that first happened, what happened with Josh Miller and his cameraman? They really came after you, didn't they?
Oh, no, the whole story is, both sides of the story, they failed miserably on their gun control, the Nazi gun control. I simply asked them, real question, how the hell does gun control take guns out of the hands of criminals? And they had no response, and the typical liberal assault is go F yourself. I mean, like, where's the proof, where's the stats, when we get all the proof, history, and stats to back us up that more guns equals less crime?
Well, what I want to do is, in a little bit, I want to get into sort of the tactics, your MO as far as how you get this information, how you approach people, and basically your thoughts on what it means to be basically a new media journalist, an alternative journalist. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, right off the bat, I want to start right out with the Common Core dildo teacher. Now, you read a story on your show that turned out to be fake. And, it happens to some of us. We get these stories and they turn out to be not true. But this was, as far as I'm concerned, this was kind of obviously fake, like a teacher teaching young children how to use an artificial penis. You also thought the Sandyhook parents were suing Newtown over LAX security. That was like another thing that you thought. And it was actually lax security. But you thought the LAX airport was somehow involved. You bought it all immediately. And this is an important question. You bought those things immediately without looking at them critically. And to me, it speaks volumes about sort of your unquestioning belief in all of these conspiracy theories, most of them marketed by Alex Jones, who, let's face it, he's an entertainer, right? He's a radio guy. You being formerly a wrestler, you know the difference between entertainment and actual news in some way, right?
Well, first of all, it wasn't Alex Jones. Alex sent me there. We had no clue what happened, what was going on, and nothing. And when we got the official narrative, now I want to explain why I asked these questions at the Boston Marathon. This is why I asked them.
I want to go back to, like, what was your thought process? Like, when you saw that story...
Oh, the story, yeah. I had a new producer come in. They print the articles out for me, and they, sort them out on my desk and everything. And, of course, I'm ranting through the articles, and, yeah, we come across fake ones. I actually retracted that story afterwards. Yeah, but the thing is, any human being, if that was real, you would have a right to rant about that. But we did retract the story. Even Infowars took the story down when they found out it was fake. So, it's a mistake. Plain and simple.
But you said, yeah, sure. But you said on Twitter that, and this was in our discussion earlier this week on Twitter, where you said you wouldn't be surprised if it actually happened.
Oh, not at all. The disgusting crap that's going on in our schools today, it would not at all surprise me that this would happen.
It wouldn't surprise you if a teacher was teaching elementary school kids about dildos.
Not at all. The crap they're teaching kids today, it wouldn't even surprise me. 10 years ago, yeah, absolutely. But the way things are going today, it would not surprise me.
Yeah.
What crap, and who do you blame for that?
Well, it's the media, for one. The mainstream media, I should say. They're the ones destroying the minds of people. The public school system's destroying the children, teaching them, oh, the guns are bad. Guns kill people. No, it's the guns that saves our liberties.
Does everything with you come back to guns? It seems to.
No, it's just an example what they're doing to the children here. You know what I mean? And now they're teaching the kids it's okay to be transgender. I mean, there was an article, I forgot the source of it. A little boy used a little girl's bathroom. There was 3 girls in there. The girls made a complaint about it, and they're the ones who got threatened with hate crime if they said anything. I mean, where are the morals in this country anymore?
Do you think, Dan, that they should be teaching how to use guns in schools?
Oh, no, not at all. But I mean, like, to teach them, say, hey, gun safety, hey, if you see a weapon, because how many years, hundreds of years, kids grew up in this country, guns hanging on the fireplace, loaded weapons and everything, didn't even touch it. They knew how to shoot at 12 years old, and there were no problems. It was when they started implementing gun control, that's where all the problems started, and started brainwashing when you have your own Senator Dianne Feinstein. I mean, this girl is just a moron, okay? She says when a gunman realizes that nobody else is armed, he will lay down his weapons and turn himself in, and that's just human nature. And I don't know what planet she's living on, like Fantasy Island or something, and you have Eric Holder openly saying we need to brainwash people into thinking guns are bad. This is all on record. He said this back in '95. We could play the video for that.
And what we need to do is change the way in which people think about guns, especially young people. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
They are brainwashing America to say, hey, we need to turn our guns in. We need to censor our First Amendment because we don't have a right to say that being gay is wrong.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, Dan. I want to go back to your point of view when it comes to conspiracy theories in general, and which is why I kind of led off with the Common Core dildo teacher, because it seemed like you bought into it right away, and it seems to me as if the whole idea behind conspiracy theories is questioning authority. That's sort of, wouldn't you agree that that's sort of the broad stroke concept behind?
Well, why not? What's wrong with questioning the official narrative?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, when you're into journalism, everybody that wants to become a reporter, right? They become a reporter for what? To seek the truth. I mean, I talked to tons of mainstream media reporters, former ones like Ben Swan, Amber Lyon, and all these people. They are sick of being censored by the mainstream media.
Let me ask you this then. Are you forming your own theories, or you would basically, because on your show, I mean, what I see a lot of is you just reading Infowars conspiracy theories?
No, they're not Infowars conspiracy theories. People don't understand, okay? When we hear stories, we go investigate it, and we write our own stories. Alex trusts us with our own stories. He doesn't sit there. He doesn't know 60% of what goes on over Infowars. People blame Alex, blame Alex. I was in Boston, okay? I seen what happened. I seen all the stuff going down. I'm the one that came out with those questions. Alex didn't call me and say, hey, Dan Bidondi, I want you to ask these questions. No, I'm the one to form my own questions.
So, Alex,
why was that the first place that you went? Why was that the first place your mind went, that this explosion that that hurt and killed these people had to be some sort of false flag?
Well, for one, on record, Local 15 News reports where they were interviewing coaches and police on the finish line. They all thought it was some kind of a drill because it said, we heard a loud announcement saying, everybody stay calm, this is just a drill, then boom, boom, there goes the explosions.
At the start line this morning, they had bomb spotters on the roofs of the building, and they had bomb-sniffing dogs coming up and down at the start line. And Melanie said there was bomb-sniffing dogs at the finish line, but they kept making announcements saying to the participants, do not worry, this is just a training exercise. Well, evidently, I don't believe they were just having a training exercise. I think they must have known, they must have had some kind of threats or suspicions called in.
Now, Coach Stevenson told me he's run plenty of marathons in D.C.
That was on record.
No, they were detonating other devices after the initial.
In the same two locations. I mean, come on. Then you had Boston Globe tweeted out early that morning that they were doing controlled demolition, controlled explosives. No, it hasn't been debunked. I contacted the woman from the Boston Globe, and she confirmed that. She tried to deny it first, but she confirmed that we went up. And 3,000 people retweeted that off the Boston Globe's Twitter. And that was with those two right there.
So first of all, that has been debunked. But secondly,
how's it debunked when they admitted it? It's on.
You just don't. Please don't.
How's it be? Answer that. How's it debunked? Debunk it.
You've decided because of a couple of coincidences or a couple of
coincidence
that happened during a very high stress situation when there was a lot of chaos. You've come to the conclusion that the United States government killed its own people. How do you get from point A to point B on that? See, this is the issue that I have, and this is the problem that I have, and this is why, for all the fun that we make of you, and all the time thing that we joke about it, and you know what? Seriously, it's all in good fun, man. There's no bullshit. We're not, we're not out to get you. We're just having fun. We're poking fun. But for all of that, the real issue that I do have with you is that you're doing harm by believing this crap. That's what bothers me.
Well, if you heard that stuff too, wouldn't you challenge it?
All right, fine. Listen, seriously. I'll tell you what. I'll let you talk in just a second. I promise. I mean it. I want to know where you get from. There are a couple of coincidences, a couple of things that don't seem to add up to this unbelievable conspiracy that you figure out. I mean, here's how it works when it comes to proving things. If you make an outlandish claim, you have to be able to prove it. Not just say, well, you know what, isn't this strange? Yeah, maybe it is strange. But you have to be able to prove it. And if you can't actually prove it, I get to look at you and say, no, man, that's bullshit. And just honestly, just dismiss it as easily as you say.
They kept making announcements saying to the participants, do not worry, this is just a training exercise.
Well, it's not bullshit. It's fact. I mean, the Twitter did go up regardless what people think they debunked it. That Twitter, it did exist on the Boston Globe's Twitter. That is on record.
No. What you're referring to right there is a simple error in time zone. Boston is in one time zone. Austin and other places in the United States.
I was in Rhode Island when that happened. I'm in the same time zone. I'm 45 minutes away from Boston.
Yeah, but when it was initially reported, and it wasn't initially reported on your Twitter timeline exclusively, it was reported elsewhere. The timing that the Boston Globe released that tweet is different in different places in different time zones. You understand? So what made
I understand that, but it went out in the morning. It hit Eastern time early in the morning.
What the difference is that it's earlier in the day the farther west you go. You understand?
I understand that part.
What may have been read in Chicago or what may have been read in Austin, Texas or Los Angeles comes down into that person's Twitter on their time, not Boston time. On their time.
I'm in Boston time, okay? And it came out early in the morning, well hours before the bombs went off. And what a coincidence that the police confirmed, the Boston police even confirmed that there was bomb drills, okay? And it happened coincidentally in the same two locations where those other two bombs went off.
So let me ask you this then. How does there being a bomb drill, and let's face it, we live in a post-9/11 world where there are cautions and precautions taken before a big event like the Boston Marathon or the Super Bowl. Why is it so outlandish? And I'm not saying there was, because I think you're making a mistake based on time zones. But let's say that there actually were drills run before the finish of the Boston Marathon. How does that eventually evolve into false flag attacks staged by the government in order to get your guns? I don't understand.
Which, by the way, hasn't happened since our guns are.
Excuse me. Why is people in New York can't own? Honest citizens can't own firearms in New York and Chicago because of gun control.
That's the big thing that's happened to you. Seriously, that's it. That's it for you. The fact that
no, not at all. I mean, I could go on all night and day about gun facts.
That's the government moving in to take everything away, take all your rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
27 square miles. Let's add it up. Let's say about 40 square miles in the entire country.
And they shut Watertown down illegally. That's right, illegally, busting into people's homes, kicking them out for hours. I was there, okay? I interviewed all the people. They were terrified by the police, not because of terrorists, okay? They were terrified by the police.
Yes, because you know why? You know why they were going into people's houses like that? And I'm sure they.
Oh, it's for our safety, yeah.
Illegally, but you know what? Sometimes when there are a couple of terrorists on the loose, you know, they search through neighborhoods. They do that, especially when the terrorists are, you know, in those neighborhoods. That just happens. I mean, where did they find Dzhokhar Zharnayev? They found him in a boat behind someone's house.
Oh yeah, and he writ his confession letter in blood, which is hard to believe. And you know what happened to the Fourth Amendment? Hold on, what happened to the Fourth Amendment? You know, busting into people's homes without a warrant.
Well, you don't know that that was happening.
I was there. My camera guy's right here. We were there in Watertown. Luke Rudowski from We Are Change were there.
You were there with the police as they entered houses after the bomb.
Yeah, they had the whole area blocked off. I mean, like, the neighbors themselves, the neighbors who got their doors pushed in, even confirmed this. Watch our interview on Infowars. We interviewed the neighbors of the area where the shootout took place and the bomb, you know, so-called bomb that went off. I mean, it was ridiculous. Did they ask to search your house?
They told me they wouldn't search the house.
So they didn't ask you, they just told you?
They told me they weren't coming in to search.
And did they command you to leave your home?
They told us we had to leave, yes. One thing I was very, very upset about is that when we were leaving here, the lights were on in the house, TVs, you know, and back door, they had gone the back door down my basement, and they told me, I said, let me just close all my doors and lock up, and they said no, they would do it. I came home. Back door was open. This is hours now later. Back door was open, front door was open, basement door was open. Lights were on, TVs were on. No one did anything.
So they basically left your house unsecured with the doors wide open where nobody was home?
Yes, they did.
So did they knock at your door or just walk in?
They knocked the door, but you know, I mean, the door, they almost pushed the door through them. I mean.
Okay, and did they ask you to search your home at all, or they just did it?
They just did it, you know, they just came in and they're going through.
And did they command you to leave your home?
Yes.
Do you think Dzhokhar Zharnayev's larynx was chopped out by Israeli doctors?
No.
You know what happened? It was the pot bomb that he left there at the Boston Marathon bombing that brought down Building 7.
So first of all, the first suspects, okay, by the FBI, okay, the first press conference, I was at every one of the press conferences. Their first suspect, right, he was a white guy, okay? They were going to go after the patriot groups, okay? They were going to demonize them as terrorists, which is on record, okay? The MIAC report, Homeland Security's endgame, they classify returning veterans as terrorists, worse than Al-Qaeda. They're from their own documents. Anybody listening right now, you could Google this stuff for yourself and research it.
You do realize there are Homeland Security documents based on right-wing extremists and also left-wing extremists, because there are both. There just happens to be many, 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 many more right-wing extremists, because they believe in things like...
Oh, yeah, because gun owners are bad people. Constitutionalists are bad people. Returning veterans...
You know, there hasn't been a new gun law passed at the federal level in years, and in fact, they were repealed.
Because they can't. They're failing miserably. Maine just became the 6th state this year to pass constitutional carry.
How much money the NRA spends on individual campaigns in a single year?
Thank God.
I mean, the NRA is the most powerful lobbyist group in...
I'm not talking about the NRA. I'm not right-wing, okay? I'm an independent constitutionalist.
This just shows how the power of the gun lobby to manipulate members of Congress and at the state level to not pass a damn thing as far as gun control. So all of this this unhinged screeching about gun grabbing is ridiculous, because it's just not happening. I wish it would, because I do think that to a certain degree there needs to be sensible regulations. Can you recite the entire Second Amendment for me?
Yeah, a right to form a well-regulated militia, and to right to bear arms shall not be infringed. Plain and simple. Period. You know, it's where shall not be infringed. These people don't understand. And you're saying, "Oh, we're not taking your guns." Well, guess what? People in Chicago will tell you different. People in Detroit and New York will tell you different. People in your state, California, will tell you different.
Dan, first of all, I'm the only one in California. Secondly, I got to tell you seriously for just a second. Hearing you yell "shall not be infringed" is like hearing the Stones do "Satisfaction." Thank you.
On that note, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a brief commercial break, and we're going to come back and continue to talk about the Second Amendment right after this.
Local genius Bob and Chez show.
Yes, welcome back to it. It is our Thursday show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, we're back with Dan Bidondi from Infowars and thetruthRadioshow.com.
We're being educated. We're being
Yes,
educated. That's how I like to look at it.
So let me ask you, you read for us before the break, you read for us the text of the Second Amendment, and I wanted to ask you, do you see the words, or the hyphenated words, well regulated in there?
Absolutely, and it's not the
Okay,
National
well-
Guard because it was this was created 150 years before the National Guard existed.
Yes, but you
Yeah,
understand
but
there
it's
were
also
issues.
created. It was
Oh
also
no,
created-
well regulated. In other words, you don't just have random people going doing random things. Absolutely not. You have a militia corps that's all under a regulation. In other words, everybody's into in one system, so to speak, that they're being directed. You can't just have random people jump in and then go do random things. But the thing is, that's just in case we have a tyrannical government. That's what the Second Amendment was created for. Not against thieves only. Not all, not for duck hunting. It was created against a tyrannical government, mainly ours, and to protect ourselves from criminals and our own government. That's what it was created for.
Yeah.
That's been a real problem over the past 150 years.
Oh, it has, because if people didn't touch the Second Amendment, we wouldn't be in this mess today.
Yeah, they'd have guns where they should have guns.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Somebody else is there.
Someone else is there. Who are you
No, it's
talking
one of
about?
my producer, Kevin LaPrade.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. We're interviewing Dan. We didn't know we'd be interviewing you too. Okay.
But I want to get back to Boston for 1 second. I just want to clarify
Wait a
something.
minute, we're not talking about Boston. I don't want to talk about Boston right now. I'm talking
Why
about-
no? I just wanted to end the Boston subject here. No, this is the whole thing with Boston, okay?
Dan.
You would ask the same questions if you knew that. And the thing is, if I was wrong, okay, why didn't they not answer my questions? If they answered my questions, I would have dropped it at that. I would have said, okay, all right, whatever. But they did not answer my questions. They, ignorance shows guilt, plain and simple. And
Because, Dan, you're a screaming boob. You're
So-
yelling at people. You're going up and shouting.
I'm yelling at tyrants. That's who I'm yelling
Of course
at.
you're not going to get a real fucking answer out of it.
No, the first question I asked very calmly. You can hear that right on the audio. I did not yell and scream. I asked the question. I got ignored, plain and simple.
Well, I remember you yelled distinctively at Josh Miller and his gun-grabbing cameraman. I know that for sure because we have the audio of that.
Actually, guys, that was me that made that happen.
Yeah, it was my cameraman that
Hey,
did
what
that.
happened?
Hey, Kevin, were you the guy who was flagrantly hitting on that reporter at the beach the other day?
No,
Like
actually, it wasn't. No.
No,
Okay,
that,
all right.
But anyways,
say
back to
good
that
job.
Josh
He-
Miller thing, guys. What I said was the majority is outside. That's what I said to the state senator. The majority is outside.
yeah, because the media didn't tell the people. The media didn't tell the people they had over 1,000 people outside for the guns versus 40 people that were against the guns.
Dan, okay. I need to ask you this, then. And also, you know what, Kevin's free to respond to, as far as the majority being outside. Do you know, have you seen recent polls regarding gun control and people wanting sensible gun control laws, like extensive, like additional background checks at internet sales and gun shows? You seen those numbers? NRA members by a supermajority margin support those things. Republicans by supermajority margins support those things. The reason they're not passed is not because you're yelling at Josh Miller and his gun-grabbing cameraman. They're not passed because the NRA owns Congress. That is it. That goes back to what I was saying before.
Excuse me, but all 7 of those gun control bills here in Rhode Island failed because of us. So what we did, we had 1,100 people outside testifying. We shot those bills down.
You know what? The gun control bills failed because the NRA owns the legislatures.
It doesn't matter. Gun control does not work. It's historically and statistically proven gun control does not work.
How the hell do you know?
Oh, all right. Let's play devil's advocate, okay? Let's take Chicago. They pride themselves on the strongest gun control in the country. 4th of July, anybody that has a mind of their own, go to the computers right now. 83 shootings, all by criminals in Chicago. New York, all the shootings are by who? Criminals. All these mass shootings are done by criminals with illegal guns, okay? Most of them, in all gun-free zones, all of them. You never see that crap happen when a place is armed. Never. I mean, that's all statistically proven. FBI stats. Go to FBI.gov.
They passed an assault weapons ban.
All right, let's go to FBI.gov, okay?
there were
It shows that
actually-
states with no gun control have the lowest crime and murder rates in the country. So you want to compare stats? Let's go for it.
Some of those things are multi-causal. Like there are different factors that weigh in to where there is crime and where there is not crime, and it's not just about the guns. That's like, you know.
Oh, it is about. It's all it's about because they want to disarm America, just like Hitler did. They want to disarm America so they could take our civil liberties. That's exactly where they're going. There it is. The United Nations openly declares they want total gun ban in America.
Please stop. There it is. There it is. You have this absolutely outlandish belief.
Oh, it's outlandish when you have Eric Holder saying we want to brainwash people into thinking guns are bad.
Jade Helm. Do you think Jade Helm's a real thing? Do you think they're going to take over Texas? I'm asking.
I don't think they're going to take over Texas. I think what they're doing is a proxy thing here. They're just testing things out like a beta test because they want to condition the American public to get used to military on the street. Like Boston and Watertown there, they wanted to condition the people that a police state is okay. And then, no, it's not all right for the military to police our state. It's called posse comitatis. People need to understand that.
Do you ever get tired of this? Do you ever
Absolutely not.
I could wake up one morning and have a normal life.
Absolutely, I do. I would love to. I would love to be wrong about all this. I would.
But you are.
No, I'm not wrong. I got stats and everything to prove it. You debunk it.
No, that's.
All right, but if I'm wrong, tell me. Show me how I'm wrong. Prove. Quote your sources. Quote your facts.
No, see, like I said, I don't have to. The beauty of it is that you're the one making the claim. That which is.
And I backed up my claim. I got the stats.
And disprove him, man, Chez.
Exactly.
Disprove the guy. Show me something.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna have to let me jump in here, everybody. Because we're using Skype, we need to have one person talking at a time. And Chez gets the priority. So if Chez is talking, I don't want Dan talking, and I don't want Kevin talking. Because you know what happens? Then I can't hear any of you. And that goes out on the show. So one at a time, please. And again, Chez is one of the hosts of the show, so he gets priority here. Okay? So let's then proceed.
The issue is that I don't have to prove anything. That's the beauty of it.
So you make false accusations and you don't have to prove nothing? Well, let me explain something to you, okay? You base your show, okay? You should be ashamed of yourself. God forbid I mispronounce a word or somebody's last name or I misspell something. God forbid. People would rather hear the truth from somebody that stumbles versus somebody that could talk perfectly and tell nothing but lies, like the mainstream media.
Let him go.
Okay.
Keep talking, dude, please.
What else? Yeah.
Yeah, what else, man? Educate us.
No, I'm not sitting here trying to do anything. I'm just trying to tell people the truth, that's all. But you guys base your show on making fun of people. Because God forbid I misspelled somebody's last name wrong. You know, who cares? Who cares? People want the truth out there. And you audiences out there listening to Bob and Chez show, I don't want you to listen to me. I don't. I want you, everything I said, go on Google, go research the stuff for yourself. I mean, it's all on record, all of it.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. All right, so I want to go back to guns for a second. Do you think that do you think just like anyone should own as many guns as they want?
Absolutely.
Any variety of firearm? Let me finish my question, Dan. Do you think they should be allowed to own as many guns as they can afford and whatever firearm they can get their hands on? Do you believe that should be legal?
Well, the founding father said, George Washington, the public should be armed to the teeth just as much as the military.
So you're
yeah, he did. What research that quote?
Yeah, something tells me that quote is probably also attributed to like 3.
No, that's not just one. Okay, there's hundreds upon hundreds of quotes about how important the public is having firearms.
So you think the public should be able to own like RPGs and rocket launchers and whatever they want, just heavy artillery in their backyards?
Well, if the military owns it, we should.
Oh, really?
Why not? So what gives the military a right to do it? What protects us, the citizens? Our founding fathers stated countless number of times in so many documents, okay, they stated how important it is for the civilians to be well armed and shall not be infringed, period.
Dan, you do realize, of course, that the founding fathers couldn't, under any circumstances, possess the imagination to conjure up the kinds of weaponry that we have now. They could, back then, it took you what, a minute, 2 minutes to reload after you fired one shot? They had no, no inkling of what was
They had reloadable guns and such. I mean, they had all kinds of.
Wow, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's,
Long rifles.
Sorry, I stand corrected. It's exactly the same.
It doesn't matter. It's the same scale as today. Yeah, sure, we got more advanced weapons, but it doesn't change nothing.
Okay.
And it shall not be infringed, period.
So,
Please say it again, please, man. I love that.
Shall not be infringed, the Second Amendment.
Do you guys know what that means? Shall not be infringed?
no, please tell
No,
us
no,
again.
we want to hear you. What
wanna hear you.
Yeah,
I
we
wanna
want to
hear
hear you
yours.
guys. Please explain to your audience what shall not be infringed means. Period. Plain and simple. No room for interpretation. Shall not be infringed, period. That's it. And you sit there and laugh. Oh yeah, the guns are bad. Oh yeah, the guns are bad. The guns are killing people. How about once you tell your audience how knives kill more people? Yeah, drunk drivers kill more people. Yeah, let's ban the car. Let's ban all the knives now. Okay, let's ban the hammer that kills more people. Yeah, than guns do.
You understand the difference between a car and a gun? A car has a stated intrinsic purpose that is apart from injuring.
And so does in the Second Amendment.
Creature.
The Second Amendment has a well purpose as well.
Okay.
All right.
To protect us from a tyrannical government and criminals. That's exactly what it was for.
I was gonna avoid this, but I kind of have to bring it up. I don't really have much of a choice because for me, this is the thing that separates you from being some guy who comes on the radio or whatever and rants about UFOs, which is fine. You know, you can talk about the Illuminati, you can talk about UFOs, you can talk about biblical prophecy, whatever the hell you want. That doesn't affect me.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. The Bible's hate speech. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, the Bible's not hate speech. It's just, to me, it doesn't matter because I don't believe in it, and that's my choice, and that's okay.
Yeah, liberty.
Just like you're allowed to believe in it. Cool. We both good on that?
Yeah.
Well, what
isn't it?
Yeah, liberty. There you go.
It's called the First Amendment, gentlemen.
All right. So here's the thing, though. Here's where you go from being just, a guy shouting at clouds to somebody who really is a problem. Answer a question for me. Do you believe that the Sandyhook massacre happened?
I hope to God I'm wrong, and I pray I'm wrong. But then again, I don't want the deaths of children either. But just to say, devil's advocate here, it really happened like they said it did. Now, again, it goes back to the guns, okay? If there was armed guard at that school, those kids would be alive today. But personally, all the evidence that I have seen, okay, and we've been to all the FOIA hearings with Wolfgang Halbig, these people lie out their asses, okay? I don't believe it happened. I don't. And if somebody could prove me wrong, I will gladly, humbly, okay, apologize.
They don't have to prove you because you're the one making the crazy claims.
Oh, crazy claims, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of crazy claims. Why was Lifestar not called?
You understand, though, if you bring it up, you're going to have to back up what you say, and you can't.
Oh, I can.
Here's a question about arming the teachers and the principal and all that stuff and how that may have prevented Sandyhook. Dan, did you read the news today? See what happened in Tennessee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Four guys were killed at a military base. Marines.
A gun-free zone. Gun-free zone.
That they weren't armed to the teeth?
No, they weren't armed.
But they weren't.
Gun-free
No,
zone.
they actually weren't because they were at a recruiting center.
Again, gun-free zones. All these mass shootings take place in gun-free zones. Like the Navy Yard shooting. Yet another gun-free zone. We have a Navy base out here in Newport, Rhode Island. They are armed to the teeth. They have a sidearm and a long rifle with them. You will never see a person go there and stage a mass shooting there.
Another question for you, Dan. I don't know if you remember 1981, but in 1981, Ronald Reagan was shot. So was Press Secretary James Brady.
Yep, I remember that.
Was also shot. Hinckley was surrounded by Secret Service agents who all were carrying Uzi submachine guns. And yet John Hinckley Jr. was still able to get off enough rounds to shoot the president in the chest. Tell me again how good guys with guns stop bad guys with guns.
Easy. All the stats prove it.
Photographs of Secret Service agents, let me finish, carrying Uzi submachine guns. Not typical handguns, Uzi automatic submachine guns.
Answer this one, guys. How did the good guys...
No, I'll answer this question.
Okay, hey, Kevin, we only have a half an hour to go, so I want to keep...
No, I'll answer your question.
Dan was invited on the show, and I want to talk to Dan. So I want Dan's response to that. good guys with guns don't always stop bad guys with guns.
Well, they do, because they stopped him from killing. He could have killed other people. They stopped him. Yeah, sure, he got a shot or two off, no big deal. But they actually stopped him. Now,
wait.
all right, now just say they took all the guns away, right? He could have shot the president and everybody else in the crowd. Easily.
You just said no big deal in reference to the assassination attempt on President Reagan.
Not in that aspect, not in that context, okay? In other words, it's no big deal because they had armed guards. They could have shot other people, okay? Other people would have been shot if there was no armed guards there.
Yeah, and especially if they had like an extended clip.
It minimized the damage.
Clips back then, you know, he would have shot a bunch of people. I think we should have more extended clips, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I have extended clips on my guns.
Why?
Because I feel safe with them. It's my Second Amendment to do so. Shall not be infringed.
There it is. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, here's my thing, okay?
Yeah,
I mean, like I said all the time, if you could debunk me, you have not, okay, provided no evidence to debunk my questions about Sandyhook, about the Boston Marathon, or anything else.
That means I have. So,
Again, I don't have to debunk you. We don't have to debunk you. You are the one who is required to put forth evidence. And so far, all you have are a couple of coincidences and...
Coincidence is all on record.
Quite frankly, horseshit. Yeah, dude, you don't have any actual proof.
Oh, I do have proof. I do have proof. We provide the proof.
Cover some awesome proof.
I don't know if you guys actually watch our reports. I don't know if you actually watch our reports, but anybody listening out there, when we have a report, we write an article, there's tons of leaks of the sources of our proof. We put the articles on the screen where you could go yourself to research the stuff. Okay, we're just reporting what we learn. That's it. You know what I mean?
Dan, I think you should spend some time with a couple of books. I think you should read the book, All the
Oh, I
President's
read books
Men.
all the time.
I think you should go back and read the book, All the President's Men, about the reporting on Watergate by Woodward and Bernstein. And
What's
find
that got
out
to do with
how
gun
exactly
control?
real
What's that?
journalists operate.
Ronald Reagan was for gun control, too.
Dan, no one can hear you when I'm talking because of the way Skype works, and all they hear is, okay? So let me finish. Read that book and find out, maybe crack a good, like, Journalism 101 textbook. Find out what it takes to put together a real news story. Not just blurting any theory that you find. It means putting the story together and constantly second-guessing every bit of information you have. Figuring out the who, what, when, where, and why is step one. Step two is just thinking critically about your own work, okay? Go and learn that. Because then, you know what? You certainly have the tenacity. You go and learn that, and maybe you'll get somewhere. Maybe people will start to take you seriously outside of the Infowars universe, okay? In addition to that, I want to go back to the gun question, then I want to move on to abortion. Okay? Do you think that the mentally ill should be allowed to carry firearms, as many as they want?
If they don't pose a threat, to society, why not?
Well, if they do, let's say they do. Let's say they've had psychotic breaks and there have been issues.
Well, then you gotta start nailing down, because you have these doctors who work for federal government to say, oh, anybody's psychotic. They're doing this to the veterans. This is all on record.
Look, I just stick to the guns. Do you think
I am sticking to the guns. They're doing this to the veterans to say they're not mentally capable of having weapons when they're fine. Okay, I got friends who are like this.
Let's just say there's a guy who was convicted of making a woman's suit out of human skin, like a Silence of the Lambs, and he goes to prison for 20 years, gets out of prison. Should that guy be allowed to own as many firearms as he wants?
No, I already stated law-abiding citizens.
All right, law-abiding citizens. So you're into regulation. That's a regulation, Dan. That's a regulation, and that flies directly in the face of shall not be infringed.
No, it doesn't.
Blanket statement doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because it's infringing. No, because he stated that.
Can't own a gun.
That was stated because they shall not be infringed upon our rights.
Can't own a gun.
That was stated. No, that was stated. Shall not be infringed means your rights shall not be infringed. But if you commit a crime, you pay your dues to society. And back the way it was back then, when you paid your dues to society, you were granted your full rights back. And I believe that's the way it should be.
Get in your 1.21 gigawatt DeLorean and go back to 1776, where things were simpler and there weren't mental patients and psychotic breaks. And
well, that's because of the vaccines. I mean, the vaccines and all these GMOs and everything.
Here we go. There you go.
We're going to take one last break, and we're going to come back, and I got some questions for you about abortion. We'll come back with more show right after this. yesterday. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Sales.
where you could have bought like a giant thing of spit. Since that's what they were selling during that, it was basically crap.
Discount spit. That's right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah. It's all shit that you would never need in a million years.
And just real quick, Dan, before we get back into the issues, I remember on your show you said that the title "Bubble Genius" in the name of our show makes us sound a little gay. Is that what you were kind of saying about that?
Yeah, actually, it was.
Yeah, you understand that that's the name of our sponsor, right?
Oh, I don't care. It's not my sponsor.
I don't care.
I'm not politically correct, so if you're looking for a PC person, I'm far from politically correct, so I could give a rat's ass.
I know, because gay people are weird and all.
No, I never said that. I got friends who are gay. Okay, I love them just as much as my straight friends.
Remember, you said you used that. You implied that in a negative way, though.
Actually, hang on. I gotta ask one quick question. Do you think we're politically correct? Dan?
Oh yeah, you guys go along with anything the media tells you. I mean, what's wrong? Let me ask you two a question. What is wrong with asking questions?
There's nothing wrong.
Well, I asked questions. How come they weren't answered? If I was wrong, like in Sandyhook 2 or Wolfgang, if we were wrong, okay, why couldn't those questions be answered? Why?
Because there's a decorum to journalism.
Oh, decorum. When you're in the foyer hearing, the Senate hearing, when you ask a question and the answers can't be provided.
You're following officials from Newtown up and down the street and shouting questions at them. Do you think that they should answer you?
Absolutely.
Are you deluded enough to believe
that's their job? They're public officials.
Answer you as you stop.
They're public officials.
Dan,
they're public officials.
Dan, just stop for a second, please.
Well, what's wrong with asking questions? No, here's the thing, okay? If they would have answered my questions, I would have stopped. If they would have answered Wolfgang's questions, he would have stopped.
Dan,
but if
you're arguing, you're making the argument.
No, I'm not making an argument. Why ain't these questions answered?
No, listen to me. You are coming from the.
Oh yeah. I'm a deranged lunatic. I got the tinfoil hat on. I got the deranged lunatic tinfoil hat on. Yep. And I want to tell everybody out there listening. I want to tell everybody out there listening. Okay. Do not listen to myself or Bob Cesca. Do your own research. I'm telling everybody listening right now. Do your own research. Don't listen to Dan Bidondi. Don't listen to Bob Cesca. Do your own research, and you will find the truth.
You're right about that.
Oh, yeah, and I want to thank you two guys, too. I got to thank you two guys. I want to go on record here. I want to thank you, Bob and Chez. I really do, because the last 2 years you've been slandering me. You guys actually brought, I say, about 1,000 people over to my show. All of them said, hey, will you listen to you? Bob and Chez trash you. We looked you up to see who you were. And we say, oh, this guy's telling the truth. He's from the heart and everything else. And thank you for bringing some fans over to the Truth Radio Show.
I'm really glad. I'm sure. I have no doubt that we have a lot of cross audience.
Yeah, lots of the same people listening.
Yeah. By the way, honestly, us Rhode Islanders got to stick together, right? Yeah. My family's from Providence.
You know what else, Dan? You understand that some people will listen to our show because they don't like us. You understand how that works?
Oh, I know, and the same with my show too.
Sometimes people go over and they read one of my articles or one of Chez's articles at the Daily Banter and they go, oh, I don't like these guys. And then they maybe...
Oh, I know how it all works.
Like what you have to say. You understand how that works?
I understand that. You know, I got people on my show that don't like me. They listen to just to see, like you guys, listen to my show to see what I'm going to say wrong.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to ask...
And by the way, just stop for a second. By the way, we appreciate you coming on. I mean that.
Yeah.
What I want
to get pleasure.
Back to, because this is really important to me. This is the one thing that's really important to me, is that you're following people from Sandyhook, from people from Newtown, Connecticut around, and the basic argument that you're making and asking these questions is, like you said, you believe that their children either didn't exist at all or weren't actually killed. Right. And that makes you a fucking monster.
Oh, it does, huh? How about you liberals exploiting the deaths of these poor kids, if it really occurred, for gun control? How about that, huh? Right after Sandy Hook, Michael Bloomberg funded Mothers Demand Action, all these groups all over New England to push gun control, but he failed miserably here in Rhode Island because we don't tolerate that crap, okay? And even if those kids died, if those kids really died, I will go apologize to every one of those parents, and I will humbly admit I was wrong. But all the evidence is stacking up. There was no bodies seen. Columbine, all the media seen the bodies being carried out. How come 8 minutes from the first shot they had official body count, huh? Answer that one. How come all the media and the cameras and helicopters didn't see no bodies pulled out of the school? How come Lifestyle wasn't dispatched? Oh, it is proof. It's on record. We were at the FOIA meeting.
You're asking questions, but guess what? Questions don't equal proof.
It does. We have the new town chairman. She admitted.
Building 7 fall. That means nothing. It doesn't mean shit.
Oh, it means
you've got something that.
Oh, we got tons of proof about that too. We got proof of that. Mike, Larry Silverstein, the owner of the complex, he admitted on record. I have a friend who was a New York firefighter. There, they said they pulled Building 7, they blew Building 7 up. Larry Silverstein on television, on Worldwide TV, admitted to it.
Dan,
yes, he
please
did.
Stop. Please stop. Please stop.
And
Please
I mean, I could keep pounding you guys with facts left and right. So let's go on to abortion then. Let's go.
When Silverstein said pull it, he was talking about the fire crew. He wasn't talking.
Oh yeah, because it's a demolition term. Pull it. Research that.
He was talking about the crew.
Oh no, I'm sure he was talking about his penis too. Let's pull it. Yeah, you need to do the research. Okay, you need to watch the facts. Okay.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, you know, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
The New York firefighters, they're the ones who started the 9/11 Truth Commission. The New York Fire Department, not conspiracy theorists. I have a friend, Phil, who was one of the first responders.
You know what? You're right. We should definitely talk to Phil.
Yeah.
Why are we talking to you?
Let's get Phil on the show. Dan, I want to change gears to another topic.
By the way, Bob, I really, really apologize for all of the bleeps.
I know. I'm going to have a lot of fun bleeping the show. Let me ask you this, Dan. One of the most horrified instances I can remember from your truthradioshow.com is when you said that people should get into vans and fill them with C4 and drive them through abortion clinics. Why do you support terrorism, Dan?
Oh, no, and I said, what else did I say after that? As long as nobody's in the building. And yes,
it doesn't matter if anybody's in the building. You understand how that's still terrorism.
It doesn't
right?
matter. These places are evil. They kill them. Oh, but it's okay for them to kill babies, all right? It's okay for them to kill millions of babies a year.
Support terrorism. So I'm just making.
No, you're trying to justify the means here, okay? It's okay for them to kill countless numbers of babies for the satanic bloodlust.
I mean, that's legal in terrorism.
Did you say it's satanic?
Satanic bloodlust. That's all it is. Margaret Sanger was an occultist.
Okay.
Margaret Sanger, she was an admitted cultist.
I love that band. By the way, I love it.
Let me ask you this, Dan. I just want to be perfectly clear about this. You support terrorist attacks inside the United States using vans and C4.
It's not a terrorist attack. It's defending our children.
No, it's not.
Let's look at the definition of terrorism. Terrorism is to cause terrorism, to terrify people, okay?
Yeah, and you don't think that's going to terrify people driving babies?
Oh, no, but it's okay to kill babies, all right? It's okay. It's okay for a girl to spread her legs and they put the meat grinder to the child. Oh, that's okay, though.
It's like Carcass lyrics. I love this.
Oh, yeah, it's okay because...
We've gone into another level of Dante's hell right now. Okay, so, but...
And yes, I do support it. If somebody wants to burn every one of those damn Planned Parenthoods down, as long as there's nobody in the building, like I stated the first time I said it. Same thing with the UN building, too. Blow the damn thing up as long as people is not in it.
Dan, if the planes had flown into the World Trade Centers and there had been no one in there, and I know you don't believe they actually did, but let's just say for argument's sake, that if the planes flew into the World Trade Center and there had been nobody in those buildings at the time, would that still be terrorism?
Absolutely.
Okay, then what's the difference?
There's a big difference because these Planned Parenthood places kill innocent children.
So you're saying if it's retribution. You don't think that those terrorists were trying to get back at the United States for some sort of egregious wrong?
No, it's no terror. It's all hyped, okay? It's the CIA, okay? They scare people to think, we got to watch out for terrorism. We got to give up our civil liberties so they can stick their hands down our pants and to protect us. It is the point.
You understand the point I'm trying to make, though?
No, I don't understand the point.
That it doesn't matter whether people are in a building or whether
I said it mattered. I said as long as nobody's in the building. There's nobody in the buildling, blow the damn thing up.
It's still terrorism.
No, it's not, because you're saving the lives of millions of innocent children.
Okay, so what if the business that was happening in the World Trade Center was a defense contractor making white phosphorus? and they're killing people in war zones overseas. So would that be okay?
As long as nobody died from it.
So you'd be okay with
if it's justified. Hold on. That's like saying our military bombing strategic targets, the enemy. That's you're trying to compare apples to oranges, yeah.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think that on this program I could get Dan Bidondi to basically admit that what Al Qaeda did on 9/11 was okay.
Al Qaeda didn't do that. That was the federal government. Al Qaeda is a boogeyman. On record, Timothy Osman, that's Bin Laden. Okay, he had nothing to do with 9/11. That even the vice president said that. That was on record. Okay, he had nothing to do with 9/11.
Is there anything that you see on the news that you believe, or no, not on the news? Is there anything that you run into from day-to-day life that you believe, that you go, you know what, that's not a false flag?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
when
not
somebody, sure,
to put something over.
sure,
I mean,
when somebody could,
government trying to screw with
sure,
me?
that's when somebody answers the question. Then let me ask you this: how come 6 of the 10 9/11 official committee members do not buy the official story no more? Answer that one.
What?
Why was Mayor Willie Brown told not to fly that day from San Francisco? That was San Francisco Chronicle.
Oh my God.
No, why was the mayor told not to fly that day?
Don't ask any questions. Just state facts.
Oh yeah, like mainstream media zombie. Oh, we gotta follow everything that we're told by the media and the government. So you believe in everything in the official narrative? Is that what you're going at?
Never said that. I spent a long time in media, and I question everything. That's what you do. You're skeptical.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing.
But when you get a legitimate answer, then guess what? You go, okay, that's good.
Exactly. You're right. But I haven't got a legitimate. I got ignored.
No, you don't. You have questions.
Exactly.
How did this happen?
I don't know where. All right.
Why
Yeah.
do people think that? That's what I keep coming back to, because that's the thing that makes you kind of a buffoon.
Oh, for asking questions. Oh yeah, that's
No, not for asking questions. It's totally okay to ask questions, but you don't accept the answers. If
they didn't give no answers. There is no answers. If they give me an answer, hell, all right, move on. But if nobody gives you the answer...
But you wouldn't, because you're waiting for the answer that you believe is true, even if that answer is absolute crap.
I mean, I guess my point here, Dan, is that why should anyone give you any answers? For God's sake, you're supporting terrorism.
Oh, yeah, I'm supporting the Second Amendment. That's terrorism, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. According to the federal government, we're terrorists because we support the Second Amendment. We believe in the Constitution. That's on the MIAC report, the Homeland Security's documents. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the abortion clinics, Dan, which you said it's okay to bomb them.
Oh, but it's okay for them to kill millions of kids a year? That's okay?
Abortion?
Hold on, you've got a vibrator going on.
You've got a vibrator. Get your dildo.
Some motorcycle.
It brings us back full circle. Is Common Core there?
Oh, yeah, the Common Core dildo, yeah.
Dan, explain to me...
Unbelievable. Let's get back to the facts, guys, okay?
No. Here's what I want to do. Because you know what? Half of your appearance on this show is just you going... because you keep interrupting us and Skype cuts you out. Okay, so let me ask you one question. This is a very important question. Remember when the Pope released those doves and they were attacked by a crow and a seagull? Can you explain? Can you walk us through that one again?
No, just go watch the report. I mean, I'm not getting sidetracked here. We're here to debate the facts, and you're not presenting no refutable evidence at all.
Yeah, but a lot of first of all, a lot of what you believe though stems from this sort of morality that you believe you have because you are a hardcore Christian. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, the Bible is the base of morality. It's the base of the laws of the land. That's historical.
Now, see, I disagree with that as somebody who's an atheist. But that, I don't think that I'm any less a decent person because of that.
No, I didn't say you was.
This country was founded on Judeo-Christian.
Yeah, this country was founded on Judeo-Christian beliefs, regardless what you think. No, the first 120 colleges in the country were founded on Christian Judeo beliefs.
Christian Judeo beliefs. Okay.
And here's under the Articles of Confederation, they even passed the old Diluted Satan Act to teach kids how to read and write. This was back in the 1600s, so they would not read and write the Bible, so they would not be deceived by the Dark Ages. This is all on record.
Before we wrap up,
do you believe in Satan?
Absolutely.
You believe Satan? Stop. You believe Satan is an actual being, an actual person, something that makes us do bad.
Not a horn.
No, not a horn like cartoon fictitious, but yes, he's a real being.
You think that you believe that there's a hell, there's a place where you go that of lakes of fire and chains of ice and so
Absolutely.
on. Okay.
All right.
And that's exactly where people like Margaret Sanger are going, people who support abortion, these scum from Planned Parenthood, that's exactly where they're going from. The people from the United Nations are going from. These jerks, okay, they're trying to take our guns because registration leads to confiscation, and exactly in their plans, the globalist plans, the UN plans, the government plans, they want to confiscate our weapons. The UN openly stated they want total disarmament of the American people. The United Nations has said that on record. If you don't believe me, go to the UN's website and look up the documents for yourself. This is all on record.
Dan, we're running out of time. I got one last question for you. What do you think of the Iran deal?
It's a giant hoax. That's all it is. I mean, it's just a bunch of hogwash. It's just the United States and the UN should not do nothing. You know, I want to tell these people out there, these wars in the Middle East has nothing to do with our security, nothing to do with freedom, okay? It's all to do with global dominance. That's all it is, divide and conquer. Everything our founding fathers warned us not to do.
What about Israel's role in all this? Where do you land on that?
Well, first of all, I don't trust the Israeli government. I don't like the people, yes, but
which member of the government don't you trust?
None of them.
Like specifically?
None of them. I don't trust the entire Israeli government.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for being there, Kevin.
Kevin's tracking with us. Okay. Kevin knows exactly where we're going.
I know where you're going with this, but I don't trust any of the Israeli government. They're much as criminals as our government.
But you don't trust the prime minister either?
None of them.
All right. What is it about the prime minister you don't like?
None of them. I don't trust any of these people, okay? They're all globalists.
Specifically, what is it? Because I know you've spent a lot of time on the prime minister of Israel. I mean, what don't you like about him?
I don't trust any of them.
Kevin. I like Kevin. I like you guys.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know where you're trying to go with this, but you know what? We don't trust any of these governments because they all work, they all collaborate on a global level, okay? It's all for a new world order, okay? They want a new world order, and they're doing everything in their power to do this, okay? They want to push gun control and exactly all over the country. You people, they're not taking our guns. Bull crap.
No, wait. We were talking about Israel. I just want to...
No, I'm not talking about all the globalists, okay? I'm talking about United States government, the Israeli government, the Iranian government. They're all on the same page. It's a giant Hollywood stage to push a global government. That's all it is.
It's a giant Hollywood stage to...
push a global government, a new world order. As they openly state all the time. All the leaders call for a new world order. You know, but with conspiracy theorists, they don't say that when it's on record. They go on the mainstream media and say, we need a new world order. And you had this scumbag of a pope, he's nothing but a false prophet, going around preaching that climate change and global warming's fake. Climate change is fake. It's not real.
Bring up the music.
Yeah, we've got the music running. We got about 2 minutes left to go in the show, and
it's all yours. It's all yours. Take it.
I just want to get from you, Dan, because I know you talked about it a lot. There are real Jews in Israel, and according to
it's right in Revelations. It says there's real Jews and people who profess to be Jews, like the Israeli government, and people like Rothschild. They fake. They're not real Jews. They're fake. And the Bible says that right in Revelations. You can go look it up for yourself.
So tell me about why the Prime Minister of Israel is not a real Jew.
They all belong to the same group, from the same bloodlines, from the same families and whatnot.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at here, Dan, is why is the Prime Minister of Israel not a real Jew?
They all belong to the same family and bloodline.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the Prime Minister?
It has a lot to do with it. And it's called global government. They're all trying to push our government as well. They're all in together, United Nations. They want a global government. They want to take your guns. They're going to force everybody for RFID chip. This is all on record, folks. You can research all this for yourself. Don't listen to me, Bob Cesca. Do your own research. That's all I have to say.
To us. I mean, we want people to listen to us. I mean, I want...
No, why don't you let your audience have a mind for their own? I tell my audience, don't listen to Dan Bidondi. I want you to have a mind for your own out there listening and research all the stuff for yourself.
I guess what we're getting at, Dan, do you know the name of the Prime Minister of Israel?
Nope, no, I can't recall it.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good man, Kevin.
Dan, do you know the name of the Prime Minister of Israel?
Adolf Hitler.
Wow.
That's nice.
Ballsy, I like it.
Yeah, he's very close. Resemblance very close, but...
Dan, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, have a good day. Remember, the Second Amendment shall not be infringed.
Okay, sure. All right.
One more time, Dan.
The Second Amendment shall not be infringed.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was the Bob and Chez, the Bubble Genius show. And you notice how they're trying to sidetrack me to say the Prime Minister's name. I can't say it to save my life. I can't. But I admit it. Okay, I'm not a perfect speaker. Netanyahu, whatever. It doesn't even matter, okay? The thing is, they say, oh, you have a right to ask questions, but you don't have a right to ask questions. I mean, did you not hear what they were saying? It's okay to ask questions, but not ask questions. If I got answers, okay, at the Boston Marathon, if they would have turned around and told me, hey, here's why you're wrong, that would have been end of it. Plain and simple. It would have been over. Same thing with Wolfgang when he asked those questions about Sandyhook. That would have been the end of it. But when you ignore the questions, okay, that shows guilt, plain and simple. But I can only imagine what kind of audio clips are going to come out of this, what kind of articles they're going to print up. But I'm glad I recorded on this end because I don't know what they're going to try to do or they did on the live on the air. Doesn't matter anyway because we know these people, you know, Bob and Chez, they're a bunch of brain-dead liberals, okay, that believe in everything the official story reports, everything, the official narrative. That's the way it is. That's it. We don't have a right to challenge it. And yes, it is on record about the Boston Globe tweet. It wasn't debunked. That was on the Boston Globe's Twitter, plain and simple. And the same thing with the Local 15 article talking about coaches on the sideline, on the finish line, I'm sorry, reporting that there was just a drill. They heard announcements made. All that was on record. The police even admitted they did bomb drills, and it happened to be coincidentally, though, in the same two locations. I mean, I could go on all day with these facts and the gun facts, but they're trying to justify the means and all the other stuff. It's just, that's what they do. They use circular reasoning over and over again so they could try to make themselves sound intelligible. But when it comes down to it, they didn't answer or refute any of my questions, I should say. And I'm just baffled that these people actually listen to these guys. You know, they base this show on just trashing people because they mispronounce a word or what have you. But anyway, we're out of time. This is Dan Bidondi for TruthRadioShow.com.